Okay, well, we now have a call coming in from Iraq. I know there's people on listening right now. And again, I want to let people know that sometimes the calls when they come in from Iraq can be a little bit unstable. It's a privilege, folks, to introduce our caller coming in, Master Sergeant Craig Colton. For those of you who have been listening, Talking with Heroes for a while, Master Sergeant Colton, before he went deployed, actually co-hosted some programs with me. He organized more than one Support the Troops event in Texas and other areas. We did talk shows down there. And on one of my trips to Iraq, he did an entire program for me. And while I was gone, but he's back in Iraq now, and we have an article up on our new news column from him, the news from Iraq. And a great privilege to introduce Master Sergeant Craig Colton. Welcome. Are you there? Great, wow. I'm going to turn the volume up if I can a little bit here so people in the room can hear you. Hopefully I won't get any feedback. Jeff, as far as Ray, if you hear any feedback, let me know. Well, Craig, maybe some people don't know who you are. They may not have listened to you before. Why don't you start out and just share a little bit about yourself and how long you've been in the Air Force?
Well, Bob, you know, I'm a little bit shy about talking about myself. I'm just a big teddy bear, but I've been in the Air Force for a little over 20 years now. I actually grew up in the Air Force. My father was in the Air Force. So military is really one of the only things I really know what to do. And I guess when I retire, I'm not sure what I'm going to do when I grow up. But, you know, I've had a lot of different things I've done while I've been in the Air Force. I helped out as a rifleman, as a GI, as a sergeant for a little bit. My background is actually avionics, so I'm on the B-1 bombers and the B-2 bombers. I was also a career advisor at Dallas Air Force Base before I deployed. And right now I'm with the CAF team, which MSG Colton Air Force training team, and we're over here trying to help stand up the Iraqi Air Force.
Yeah, I remember when I came back, I think it was the second trip, when I had interviewed the Iraqi Air Force General over there, and you and I were talking, and then, I don't know, some months later you called me and you said, I've requested deployment. You didn't have to go, you asked to go, right?
You know what, I volunteered for this one. You know, as soon as I got word that this was coming up, I called the wife and said, hey, this is something that I want to do. What do you think? Where you got to go? And, you know how I am, Bob. To me, it's all about the difference, trying to help people out, and I feel like we're really going to do that here. You know, as if my job wasn't enough, just trying to train the Iraqi Air Force guys. The commander just decided to be the first sergeant to Boston Base there for the Air Force.
Okay. Hey, you know, Craig, I'm not one to ask you to hold up a little bit, but we have an interesting caller on the line for you. And I believe you know who this person is. It's a little bit of a surprise. It's your grandmother. And so I want to welcome your grandma to Talking with Heroes. Hello, ma'am.
Heroes. Hello, ma'am.
Ready? Hi, Craig.
Hey, Greg, how are you?
Oh, fine, thank you.
Something tells me there's probably an angel there with you by the name of Karen, or else by Cookie. And she's on this serious, I know she's been helping you a great bunch. I just don't have the words to thank her.
You're right here, Craig.
Yeah, you troublemaker.
Hi.
Granny, how are you?
Hey. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I still got this crud that's been going around here. You know, it's just like being in Texas, got a little bit of a cold thing going and coughing, but I think I've got a lick.
I love you so much.
I love you too.
Yeah, and folks, mentioned earlier we haven't heard word. Greg's grandma has just recently been in the hospital, and we'd certainly like people to be praying for her speedy recovery, and I'll be praying for you too, ma'am.
Praying for you too, man.
Oh, I know. Thank you so much.
Craig?
What do you think about these social angels, folks?
Love you so much.
Love you too.
Soldier, thank you. Love you too.
Karen, I want to thank you for what you're doing.
Steve, I'll tell you what, they've bombarded me with things and maybe even harassed me a little bit, and I mean that in a good way.
Yeah, you know, they were talking about that here today. I had some of the Soldiers, Angels, ladies come up to me and say, hey, you heard about Happy Feet? I said, yeah, I just did. I know what you're talking about. Ask Sergeant Greg Colton.
You know, your phone's cut out a little bit there, but yeah, it's me, it's Happy Feet. But you know, Granny's been having it's kind of hard. She's out in California in the nursing home, and of course that's in Texas. It's kind of hard to make that trip. And when I was over here, Karen had said that she was at the Travis Air Force Base, and my granny lives right by there. And she goes, oh, you want me to stop by? And
I don't know if we lost him or not. Jeff, can you signal me if you can still hear me?
We seem to be experiencing a technical difficulty here. We will rejoin. No, you're not. We will rejoin Talking with Heroes live from California from the Soldiers Angels Convention. In fact, maybe we can take these guys right back here. We'll do that. Please stand by. Are you guys still there?
I'm not sure if my granny and Karen are.
Hold on.
Modern technology, don't you love it?
Ladies and gentlemen, modern radio. Back to you guys.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jack. Appreciate it.
Granny, are you still there?
Granny, are you still there? I'm still
Okay,
here.
great.
Okay, great.
Go ahead, Greg. Talk. And we'll talk more about what you're doing in Iraq in a few minutes.
Go ahead.
Well, you know, I mean, we got over here, and when we got to Iraq, there's a place called the Alamo. Let me first start off to say that the school that we're teaching at now is the old Baptist headquarters. So there's a lot of history in the building that we're teaching in. But prior to us going to that building, we're at a place called the Alamo, and it was, well, you see the Alamo, so you kind of have an idea of what it was like. The facility we're in now is much nicer. You know, got problems with spring water and stuff like that, and we're not going to get into discussing aspects of that, but you know, the schoolhouse is not bad. It's so different coming to a place like this. The culture is so different. We're so used to time management and doing things and having our clock set to, you know, to be here at this time and start this at this time. This meeting's going to be here. Well, Bob, you've been over here yourself. You know that nothing starts without the greetings and chai and just, you know, talking for a little while before you get anything started.
Well, you're doing a great job. I know when you told me you were going over, your aim was to train the trainers, which is a whole nother level up. And, you know, what we're trying to do here on Talking with Heroes is bring to the American people, but unfortunately we're not hearing a lot on the media, that there is really a lot of progress that's happened. In many areas of Iraq right now where there's problems, there is no problems right now. Would you agree?
You know, you gotta understand, I'm kind of living a sheltered life here, being here at Taji. You know, we live on the coalition side, and life's good. We're protected by the U.S. Army. Where I work is actually protected by the Iraqis. And I'm not taking anything away from them, but we don't have quite the same security. But it's not bad over here, you know. There are people in different parts of this country and Afghanistan that are really having a hard time. You know, I consider myself pretty spoiled. I mean, I've got a trailer that I live in, I've got a roommate, but we get a refrigerator, we've got a TV. Do I have cable? Well, it's the Armed Forces Network, so we've got about 6 channels, 7 channels, something like that. But that's not bad. The dining facility, we eat warm meals, we have good food, you know, and yeah, is it cafeteria food? Sure it is. And, you know, even after a while you say, you know, I'm tired of eating this or that, and single bread sandwich. There's a lot of there's a lot of things you can get. None of that, but we have a food court here. Popeye's chicken, Subway sandwiches, Burger King, a Pizza Hut. You know, does that sound rough?
Yeah, not as rough as I've seen in other areas, but I believe even in the areas I was in, it was a little more rougher. They're getting better too.
It's definitely getting better. Now, I'm not not going to say that we don't get our share of warnings and the bad guys telling us hello. And I'm not going to get into that, you know. This still happens. I mean, we're still in a war zone. This is a combat zone. But we've got guys outside the wire day in and day out trying to help this country stand up. And we are making huge steps. You see these young men and women getting ready to go out on their convoys or going out to visit the villages. And when I say men and young, I'm talking about our sons and daughters, our uncles, our aunts, our moms and dads. But there's a lot of kids here. And I mean, I'm talking, you know, 18, 19 years old. And you look at them and you just, I'm in awe, I'm in amazement. You see what they have to put up with or what they deal with day in and day out and still have the attitudes they do. Do they come back? Are they tired? Sure. But they're not down on it. They're not dogging things out, I guess is the best way to put it. You know, they're very positive. You know, I do, you know how I am, and I will sit and talk to people. And as a matter of fact, one of the letters I wrote, I talked about a young man that was having some problems back home and trying to figure out what he was going to do with his life. That's the reality of it. When you're so far away from home, you got to have someone to talk to. And I'm not going to say that I'm that guy, but I have been that guy. And there's many people like me here that have helped out. You know, there's so many things that people are aware of, or the programs, even the people that are stationed here right now, or that are deployed here, there are all kinds of programs to help them. You know, but I've got to say this, you know, with Soldiers and Angels, you remember last time we did the show down there in San Antonio. That was a great show, and I got to meet some of the Angels, and you know, I am kind of a shy guy, so I kind of stand off to the side. I've met a few folks. But when I got here, let me ask you, is Don McKay there?
No, actually, Don McKay needs our prayers too. But he was here, and he may still be here. I'm not really sure. Is he?
Yeah,
He is still here, but he's not here in the room right now. Maybe on one of our other programs we're going to tape, he might be here. I'm not sure, but he'll be listening to you. So you talk to Don. Go ahead.
Don, go ahead. Well, Don, you know, Don, first I'm going to say thank you. You know, I got to talk to you a couple times on the phone. I talked to you at the conference down in San Antonio, but I didn't expect what I received when I got here. Wow, I was bombarded with packages. You know, and I was able to share those with a lot of folks that I was here with. Soldiers and Angels hooked this up at the very beginning, and it hasn't stopped. It's a roller coaster ride, and I'm still going uphill. These guys are just bombarding me with stuff. And I'm going to say there's a little bit of harassment, and part of that deals with Karen, that's there with my grain. But it's going to be fun, you know. Some of the socks that I got in the mail from some of these care packages, you know, it was funny. I got to put those things on and take pictures because I had to get back to them and show them me wearing these slippers or these socks. But I mean, it was just funny as heck. And with the Happy Feet thing, then came along. Let's see, I got the videotape. Then I got these big pink one fuzzy slippers, you know. And man, I'm still following, you know. And then just recently, I got a thing. I got a card from a lady that collects autographs, and she sent me a picture from the movie Happy Feet, and it was autographed by Rob Williams. You know, these are folks that I haven't met before, but their hearts are so huge, and they do such great things for the men and women that serve our country. You know, it's phenomenal. And, you know, I have to credit that to Don by first getting me, I told him, I said, please don't sign me up. There's more people that need this. I'm not good. But, you know, he obviously wouldn't take my word. And since then, it's been great. And some of the folks, the cards that I've gotten, you know, if I got their email address, I try to send back an email. I started sending out the obituary letters that I type up here because I just don't have time, unfortunately, to write personal letters to everybody. But I could get on their forum from time to time and just get in there and just talk to the angels and stuff. And there's some great people.
Well, you know what? You're serving our country, and we're doing our part, trying to do our part back here to help you. And fortunately, there's so many people across America doing something, and so we obviously thank you for your service. You know, you probably had a lot of people with smiles on their face as you were sharing that story. I know we did here in the room, but I know a lot of you listening right now, you're really enjoying this. It's, you know, we're all humans, we're all Americans, and we need to be really working together. And, you know, we can all put aside politics, you know, and this is a human effort. This is supporting people like Master Sergeant Craig Colton. And, you know, Karen and your granny are still online. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Knew that or not?
I did not realize that. So I just been telling my story and just flapping my gums, and Granny's just been sitting there listening to me.
What do you think about what your grandson's been sharing, man?
Very much. I love you very, very much. Baby.
I love you too. I do. You know, I think that was good. I'm sorry?
I love you so very, very much.
Granny, I love you very much too.
Well, I appreciate that. And Karen, I really appreciate what you're doing. Karen is with Soldiers Angels. And Karen, I understand you just recently started writing letters to Master Sergeant Colton, found out that his granny was in the hospital. You've actually been visiting her in the hospital. Is that correct?
In the hospital, is that correct? That's correct, yes.
So I guess we have a very, very clear image of one Soldiers Angels person. Multiply that by 180,000 across America. And you know what? Those numbers can grow very quickly if everybody listening would just let people know about this program. Let people listen. It'll grow fast. And by the way, I have another message for you, Craig. A lady named Missy, you know who she is?
Missy, you know who she is?
I certainly do.
And she sends you care packages. She's another Soldiers Angels volunteer, right?
Volunteer, right?
Well, she's not just any Soldiers Angel. She's my official angel. You know, and she's done awesome things for me. You know, I mean, some of the care packages, you can ask what you like or what you miss or what's your favorite movie. Well, I like the Blues Brothers. I like the music in there, and I got a care package. It was a movie package, is what it was. I had popcorn in there. I had the Blues Brothers 2000, and 200 movies sitting in there. You know, just for us to make a movie night, and I certainly did it. We took those over to the schoolhouse, got out one of our projectors from the classroom, and we watched the Blues Brothers for 4 hours, and did some popcorn and soda, and actually fired up the barbecue. She's an awesome lady.
Well, she's listening right now, Craig. She hasn't called in, but I'm not sure she was going to be able to, but she wanted me to let you know that she's listening right now, so run to Ira.
Hi, Missy. I hope everything's going on. I really do appreciate everything you're doing for me and everybody else. You know, Missy also sends things to my roommate, Barry, because Barry's kind of shy and he doesn't want to sign up. He's just one of those guys. Not that he doesn't keep most of the stuff that comes in my care package. Okay, that's not fair. He probably doesn't even get 50%, but, you know, she takes care of him too. And, Missy, God bless you for what you do. Again, you know, I get speechless. I just don't have the words.
Well, I hope you're going to be able to put up with me, but I'm working really hard to get the sponsors to come back again. I've had so many units around Iraq asking me when I'm coming back, but also Afghanistan. You know, and some of them are telling me they're like the forgotten country, the forgotten war. All you ever hear about in the news is when Taliban or Al-Qaeda kill somebody. And there's so much progress happening over there. So I'm hoping that we'll get the sponsors real quick, next week or so we can set the dates. And you know Taji, it's on my list, and you get to show me around.
Well, absolutely. You know, we talked about that before I left. We talked about that long before I left. Looking forward to you coming over here. You know, hopefully make it. And if not, you know, we'll be doing shows when I get back over there. I understand. Is there going to be a Soldiers Angels conference in San Diego? Is that correct?
Yes, there is.
Yes, there is. When is it?
I think August.
There is. When is it?
August. Okay, we'll cover this on the next program. But we're going to be taping it shortly, and it'll air March 9th. And we'll get that on the information on the website here shortly. I appreciate you bringing that up. So you think you'll be back for that?
The only reason I say this, you know, it's something You know, I'd love to make a trip out to California. For one thing, definitely go see my granny, but maybe go out there and try to get back a little bit to the Angels. I mean, this is phenomenal. And as a matter of fact, you know, I've got to say this. I'm sitting here at the Freedom Call Center, and I know that some of the Angels on the Freedom Call Center, because they're saying, hey, you can go over there and make calls. Well, I came over here and I talked to the Sergeant First Class over here, and the first thing I see is a couple of Soldiers Angels coffee mugs. She already knows about it, and I'll let y'all know that I did coin her with the Soldiers Angels coin to thank her for letting me make this phone call. But Freedom Calls is another great program that's out there. This allowed me to make this phone call, and you know, I'll be around on the phone maybe a few minutes after you go off the air. So I definitely want to say something about them and thank them for what they're doing.
Well, I want to thank him here too, and not just myself, but on behalf of Soldiers Angels and all the wonderful Americans across the country that are supporting y'all and supporting troops and their families. And you know what I'd like to do right now, if it's okay with you, Craig? You know, I've met some wonderful people at events we've been together. Some of them have been wounded soldiers. Why don't you just take your time and say hello to some people, also your family?
Well, you know, obviously I got to say hello to my wife and my daughter. You know, one of the reasons I came over here, you know, I make tens of dollars, but at least now it's tax-free. That's helped me pay for my daughter to go to Texas A&M. The communication over here, I got to tell you, being a first sergeant, it makes it a lot easier for me to be able to be in contact with my family. I do talk to my wife quite often. I do talk to my daughter, not as often as I'd like, but, you know, she's going to college, she's working, and she's still young. So, you know, that's her bad right now. But when I do get a hold of her, we have some really good conversations, and I can't wait to get back to her. I did have the opportunity to talk to my son and my granddaughter. Not too long ago, you know, they're stationed down in Florida, and that was awesome. And we just say Hazar and Sarah and Dane and the kids, I love you guys, and I'll be home soon. You know, I was looking at trying to stay over here a little bit longer. My commander back home, but it's probably not the best thing. It's not in his best interest to do so. So I'll be back home probably sometime in April, and I'm looking forward to being back.
I just got to get over there before you leave. So, hey, folks listening out there, there's some real interesting stuff on our website, kind of giving you some ideas on how you might be able to help us to get back over to Iraq. There's a special letter I put together for churches, for ministries. We had some really great interviews over in Iraq with chaplains. And what I'm asking everybody to do is to go to that section. It's in our news release section, appeal to churches, and print that. And when you go to church, please take it with you and give it to your pastor and ask them to read it. So all we're asking them to do is read it and let them do what they feel led to do. But we'd love them to listen to these chaplains in Iraq and the call that came out of there from Iraq to Christians all across America. And some of these churches can help us get back over there too. So we need to get that taken care of so we can set the dates. And I think it's going to be fun. I'm also planning on going up to Mosul, Craig, and hopefully my son-in-law won't be on a patrol while I'm there, but hopefully get to sit down with him in the DFAC. I think that'd be cool, and get a little video footage back to the kids, my grandkids, and my daughter.
Yeah, that'd be nice. You know, and talking about family being over here, my brother just recently got over here. He's probably, I don't know, about 30 minutes from here, but it's about to leave, just jump in a cab and drive up. But I'm hoping to see him probably within the next week or so we can get together. I'm really looking forward to that. But, you know, I did want to talk a little bit about what we actually are doing here. You know, I tell you that we're over here as advisors. I mean, that's our key role as advisors for the Iraqi Air Force. Well, we're doing instructor duty, actually, because most of us were instructors at one time or another in our careers. And right now, we get Iraqi trainers. We're trying to get instructors from the Iraqi Air Force, and we're actually training some of the guys who will come back and be instructors. It's pretty neat. What we do in our schoolhouse, we actually have the basic training. We go through technical training, and that includes like aircraft maintenance. It also deals with fuels for the aircraft and the lab work and something that takes for airplane time. We're also training security forces and firefighting. We've had quite a few graduations, but on top of that, the Air Force Academy is something else that we do here. You know, so we've been putting out cadets, we've been putting out trainees, we've got a bunch of one meet these guys, it takes a while for you to establish a rapport, to get their trust. You know, so we had first couple hours in the class, you're sitting there talking to them, and you're doing a lot of talking. They're kind of shy, they don't want to, you know, they don't want to talk a lot about themselves. It's all about facing them. But I tell you what, as the days start going by, you realize that they're just people, and all of the cultures are different, and you don't speak the language. I haven't translated the class, so that helps quite a bit. But they're kids. These are young men, you know, and it's really neat to see them. One of the big things that I try to push in them is pride, and making them understand that what they are doing is making history for their country. They are standing up a new Iraqi Air Force to make a difference for their families and their country. And I instill the teamwork. And it's kind of funny because I didn't think it sunk, you know, it sunk in when I kept on telling them teamwork. And then they asked me, what if they take vacation time? They call blue shots. Okay? And they like to take blue shots. They want as much time away from school as they possibly can get. But one day we were done teaching, but the guys who were facing training had another day of training. Well, they wanted to go on blue shots that day, and I said, no, you can't. Not everybody's done it. They're like, I'm going to say they're arguing with me, but they're trying to disagree with me. I'm like, wait a minute, it's one team. As soon as I said one team, they said, oh, yes, one team. They got it. They understand. It's baby steps, but we're getting there. You know, and it's important that people understand that. It's not just the Air Force, we have the Army doing training here also, and helping them stand up their Army folks here. It's phenomenal. It's going to take a while, but I think it's well worth it.
Well, you're doing a great job. You know, we need everybody listening. We need your help. We need you to become the media and tell people about this. Everybody you can think of. And go back and look at those interviews we did in the last trip to Iraq, because what Craig is saying was repeated over and over and over again by Army, Marines, Navy, Air Force, and Iraqis, and the Army Corps of Engineers. Story after story. And we need to get those stories out so that America knows there is progress being made over there and how much it's incredible. And Craig, before we close, I'd like to give you an opportunity to give a shout out to the other men and women that are deployed right now in Iraq and Afghanistan and around the world. What would you say to them?
You know, they're my brothers and sisters, you know, and keep your head up high, watch your six, and go home. People are ready for you to come home. So do your job, do your duty, do it honorably, and when it's time for you to go home, it's time to go. And that's really all I really have to say there, Bob.
Okay. Well, you know, Craig, I know you don't like hearing this. My son-in-law didn't like hearing it either, but he's my hero, you're my hero. All our men and women in the military that are serving, you know, we all really, really thank you for what you're doing over there. And we're doing our part to help. We're doing our part to get your stories out. And it'll be a great moment when I can get to shake your hand again.
Well, Bob, you know, it's an honor to serve. Like I said before, I don't know what I'd do if I wasn't wearing the uniform. And when I finally have to hang it up, too many part of me that I'll definitely miss. But, you know, I'll probably carry on doing what I've been doing for the last 5 years, you know, that's trying to support the troops any way I possibly can.
Well, Craig, Master Sergeant Craig Colton, United States Air Force, 20 how many years?
20 how many years?
Yeah, we'll go a little over 20.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, I'm going to tell everybody anyway. That's okay. Well, I really appreciate it. I know it's, what, about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning over there?
Yeah, that's fine. I already took my shower, so I'm good.
I bet there's people all over the country laughing right now, just like here.
You shower late at night or early in the morning, so you still have my boy, you know?
Yep. Well, thank you very much. We're going to have to sign off. Again, I thank you. Thank you for what you're doing over there, for your service, and for your over 20 years of service to our country. How about that? Thank you very much. And you be safe. And, you hear the applause coming out over here from the room. Thank you, Craig. I'll get you the art.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Soldiers Angels.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, folks, you've heard it here from Pasadena, California, at the first Executive Soldiers Angels meeting. Like I said in the beginning, over 150 great Americans from all over America and Germany over here meeting, talking about what they can do more. That's right, I saw one over here, Marianne. She's in Germany. She's pointing to herself. And what we're going to do now, folks, is we're going to ask you to let other people know about this. Those of you listening on Saturday, this will re-air on our regular Sunday night program, 5 p.m. Pacific time. Those of you listening, I understand there's thousands of you, call everybody you know, email everybody you know, Soldiers Angels folks, call all your Soldiers Angels people. Let's get the word out so we can have a lot more listening tomorrow night. Then it goes in archives. It's there 24/7. Let's make this one of the most listened to programs so far, but we have more coming. When we go off the air here shortly, we're going to be taping another program with folks from around the country talking about what they do for our troops and their families.